Hi. So I've been doing a lot of racquetball rackets lately, and I couldn't help but notice on my Baiardo, it's pretty much impossible to reach the top cross of a racquetball racket with the fixed machine clamps, at least on all the rackets that I do. Let me show you. Let's take this gearbox racket here, for example. And again, too, when I do racquetball rackets, I will typically switch out these inner support pieces. And the throat, I like to use this chunkier looking one that has a little bit of more space going out this way, just to kind of fill the gap there in the throat and take up a little bit of more space. So even if I have this one here in the throat and I have this support billiard all the way in, I can't go in any farther, and I mount it this way. That. Okay, so with this, as you can see, the top cross is right here. It's probably hard to see on camera. It's a black racket, black string, sorry. But the top cross is right here, and this is as close as I can get the top, or to the top cross with the machine clamp. It's literally right in the middle of the gap of the first cross and the second cross. So if you're stringing this as a one piece, which Gearbox recommends, and you're coming back up to tie this off, that can be pretty tricky. I had to use my Gamma floating clamp, and I clamped it on top here like this when I was tying this off. And this is a concave frame, so the knot goes in there a little ways more even above the top cross. So a little tricky. Let's look at another frame here. Echelon XO3 black. So again, if I have the support billiard all the way in, it won't go in any further. And we're gonna give a mount here. So we're in, nice and snug. Hopefully you can see this a little better. It's a grayish string. This is Prince Lightning Pro. Again, though, pretty much we're right in the middle of the gap of the first and second cross. So, unlike the Gearbox, though, Prince, aka Echelon, they recommend all the rackets to be done as a two-piece. So the mains will tie off here, and then you're going to start your crosses here. So your knot for the first cross will be right here. So on this racket, if you were to do that, you'd have to do a starting knot, weave the first and second cross, pull tension at the second cross, which would be, the first at the same time, and you're gonna have to clamp off right here, which, I mean, that works. It's not, a bad thing to do. I mean, a lot of people do it that way. I'm just pretty picky. I don't like doing that. I want to use a clamp on the first cross, so I can tie it off and do a Parnell or a Wilson Pro instead of a starting knot. So that's this frame. And let's take a look at one more. The legend himself, Mr. Ruben Gonzalez, 03RG. So again, this is going to be all the way in. And this racket actually has probably one of the larger head sizes of a racquetball racket. Slightly larger than the Gearbox and the XO3 black. As you can see this top billiard doesn't even go in all the way anymore. This is as far as it goes, and it's not even touching the frame here. So a little bit of a larger head on this one. So as you can imagine, then really it's gonna prevent some problems from trying to reach this top cross. So again, like with the XO3, you do this as a two-piece, so you'll want to do your starting knot here, pull tension on the first two, and clamp at cross two here. Which again, I'm picky, and I want to find a way to get my starting clamp up here so I can tie it off differently. So what I was trying to do, and I think I might have found a solution for now at least, might not be the best solution, but so instead of using this piece in the throat, I took another smaller piece that kind of angles out as well. It comes to a point a little bit. And I took the same triangle piece and I essentially stuck them together like a Lego. So what I did was I took my impact drill, I drilled 2 holes into this bottom piece so that way I can slide this top piece onto it and to eat up some more space down here at the throat. This is not the first time I tried this. This is actually the 3rd time. As you can see here, it's a little bit staggered. I have to stagger it because if I want the 2 pieces to fit flush, I have to drill into the center, and that'll eat up space to where these little nubs are. And if you go far enough, which you kind of have to get them, flush, these 2 nubs are just going to break off. So you have to stagger them. I drill the holes here and here, and the first time that I tried this, I wasn't exactly center in this bottom piece. The holes were a little bit, off center. So when I stuck the piece in and I, put it in here to string, the force from pulling tension just ended up, it caved inward a little bit, and then the top piece just kind of snapped off. So that was a flop. And then the second time I tried it, I got the hole a little bit more center, but I didn't drill all the way in. So this top piece and the bottom piece had a little bit of a gap. I thought that would have been fine because if it's up against the frame, hopefully it was going to hold, but it didn't hold. So because of that little bit of a gap, again, when I was pulling tension on different angles, the racket slid this way, and it just broke it again. So flop number 2. So this time, drilled 2 holes, staggered. I went all the way through this time with my impact drill. You can see the 2 marks there. So I got this top piece in as far in as I could. And before I did that, I put super glue on the nubs as well of this top piece. So super glue on the nubs of this one, held it in, pushed it in as far as I could, held it, waited till the glue dried, and there's still a tiny, there's still a tiny gap, but I mean, I think it'll work. It has worked so far. I mean, I just did these 2 rackets, and this thing didn't really move or budge like the others did. So that's good. So let me show you. I'll put it here in the throat on the bottom billiard, and it's going to be all the way in. And let's take this gearbox racket again. Okay, so like that, nice and snug. All right, so here's the top cross. Sorry, black string again, I know. And it just about reaches. There's a little bit, just a little bit you're gonna have to push in, but in order to get it in the clamp. But I mean, at least it reaches, and it's not so much where you're having to, really force the string down to get it in there to, end up causing damage or losing a lot of tension when you're pulling. But I mean, it kind of works. It at least allows me to get a clamp in there so I can use my starting clamp and I can tie off a different way instead of using a starting knot. If we use the XO3 black, again, all the way in. Okay. Look at that. Yay. Reaches. So that's good on that one. The RG, I don't know about this one. It still might give me some problems. All the way in. let's see here. Yeah, I mean, similar to the gearbox, you know, you have to just give it just a little tug in. I mean, it's not, again, it's not ideal. You know, it doesn't just fit up there flush and nice, but it's a solution. So that's kind of where I'm at for now with this. If any of you other guys out there watching use a Baiardo and you do a lot of racquetball rackets and you're picky like me and you don't want to use starting knots or double pull if you're doing a one piece, let me know if you have any other creative solutions to get to that top cross, because I want to know.